Moments before kickoff in Philadelphia, very simply, the Chicago Bears with a win tonight clinch the NFC North. If they lose, they meet Green Bay next Sunday in Soldier Field in Chicago. The winner goes on, the loser goes home. And for what it's worth, wide receiver university would be Central Florida. In the case of Brandon Marshall, having a tremendous season, as is his counterpart, Alshon Jeffrey, who goes in motion, and they hand the ball off to Matt Forte. Up past the 20 to the 21-yard line. Yards will eclipse that mark. And what's a Bear game without mentioning Sid Luckman?
There you go.
You have to. Second down and 7 from the 22-yard line. Cutler out of the pocket, looking for room. Around the corner he goes, and he gets tripped up by Carey Williams. A couple of yards shy of the first down. It'll be third down and 3. Shaky start, but a real good second half as the Bears beat the Browns on the road. On third down and 3, Cutler under pressure, gets sacked at the 17-yard line. Trent Cole would be the biggest name on this Philadelphia defense, coming in from the right outside to take him down.
Well, Matt Forte is simply not going to be able to come over here and pick up this guy. Trent Cole is one of the best pass rushers.
They don't huddle a lot of different formations, don't change a lot of personnel very quick. Start with 3 tight ends on first down to give the ball to McCoy, looking for the rushing title this season. Around the corner he goes, and he starts with a first down, getting all the way down to the 25-yard line before he's forced out by Chris Conti. Gain of 19.
Is so mobile, so quick, was actually recruited a walk-on linebacker in college.
Double stack left and right. In this formation, the pass goes out to McCoy, who's averaging 11 yards per reception this season, and that is terrific for a running back. In the snow 2 weeks ago here against Detroit. On the option, second and 4. Foles will run it himself and set up a first down and goal from the 8-yard line.
Well, one of the problems when you put a Deshaun Jackson in the backfield, he's going to get a lot of attention. So when they did the zone fake that way, you get Nick Foles, who, I don't want to insult him, but I'm going to think he runs about a 5'1" or 5'2", 40, but so much attention because Deshaun Jackson got so many of those plays to him when he was in the backfield last week. The Bears were fooled.
He was averaging 4.2 per carry. That one was good for 10. Now they run a stretch with McCoy, who takes the ball to the 4-yard line. Chris Conti making the tackle there, and LaShawn McCoy on his way to the league rushing title.
He talks about a lot of misconceptions with his offense, doesn't he?
Second and goal. The ball is at the 5. McCoy again. Can't go anywhere. That time it's Jonathan Bostic, the rookie, number 2 pick out of Florida, tackling him. Third down and goal.
Yeah.
Been missing 7 games, almost half the season. Third down and goal now, 5 minutes into the game. Foles to the outside, throwing, caught. Riley Cooper for the touchdown. So Chicago had a 3 and out, and 2004. I know you know what it means. I know, right?
2 in 2 weeks.
Florida education. Kickoff is fielded. Devin Hester a yard into the end zone. And Hester, always dangerous.
Look out.
Loses the ball, and Philadelphia's got it. Bradley Fletcher was able to chop it out, and the Eagles are right back in business. Play action. Look at that time for Foles. Running to his right and escaping, and then throwing deep downfield, and it's caught at the 11-yard line. Zach Ertz, the number 2 tight end, rookie out of Stanford.
They're coming back and making that play.
Gain of 27, first down at the 12-yard line. The fake to McCoy, to Deshaun Jackson on the outside, puts his head down and gets 8 yards to the 4-yard line, tackled there by Anderson. The sideline, his fumble, giving Philadelphia the ball in prime position. Fake to Cooper coming around, and then Foles just throws it away. Well, a lot of people thought that if 3rd down and 2, the ball was at the 4-yard line. Running through the middle and picking up the first down is McCoy. He takes it to the 1. 1st and goal for the Eagles.
You know, here they always do these plays where they want to come across the formation and sort of kick out the defensive end. Good job, though, by Julius Peppers avoiding that tight end coming across and surviving on that play, at least for a little while here against this offense.
Boyd straight ahead into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Unbelievable 38 points per contest. Cutler now out of the pistol on their 2nd series. The first was a 3-and-out. They give it to Forte, and he gets taken down. Good tackle by Cedric Thornton up front. Bill Davis, the new defensive coordinator. 2nd down and 9. The 31-yard line goes Matt Forte. You know, you looked at that defense, and for years, Chris, we'd see, you know, going all the way back to Reggie White, of course, and then, you know, Brian Dawkins and Jeremiah Trotter and all the rest. But you look at those 11 guys, and really only one guy, Trent Cole, would stand out to the average fan.
Yeah, I agree with you, and it's a completely remade defense. Remember last year they were a 4-3 and that wide 9 and all the attacking. Now a 3-4, so a real transformation taking place on this Eagles defense.
3rd and 5. And Cutler throws, and that pass is a one-hopper into the arms of Martellus Bennett and incomplete. So here are the Bears, 2nd in the league in scoring, 9 minutes into the game under Mark Trestman with no first downs.
A little wildcat version of their offense.
One-time Jet, who used to run a lot of wildcat plays and back of the playbook plays for New York, picks up a couple. Now falls back under center. Off the fake, in the pocket. The pass a little bit low, but going down is Brent Selleck at the 46-yard line to haul it in.
No potential Pro Bowl players. The first name out of his mouth was Brent Selleck because of the way he blocks for this offense.
And the next 2 are offensive linemen as Foles retreats, sets up a screen. McCoy avoids the first tackler and then fights his way close to a first down before Tim Jennings rides him into the Chicago bench.
But a very dynamic runner, whether or not it's in the snow or not.
2nd and 2, and this time they hand the ball off to Bryce Brown, his first carry of the night, the number 2 running back. 3rd and 2. And carrying the ball, struggling, is Bryce Brown to try to get to the line to gain, but he will come up a little bit short. Chip Kelly, he can go for on 4th and 1 from anywhere. Ball's asked for a little quiet. 4th and 1. And swinging to the outside, McCoy gets 1 and about 10 more. James Casey, the number 3 tight end, with a block to get him sprung, and now you got Chris Conte, who's shaken up for Chicago.
Well, they try to do this trap again, but that time Shady McCoy, instead of going inside of the linebacker, jumps to the outside and still picks it up. Concussions now in the NFL, it's a guy whose head slams on the ground that causes it, and that's exactly what happened to Chris Conte.
So it's a first down. Here goes the screen. Here goes McCoy. McCoy is ridden out of bounds at the 10-yard line by Major Wright, and that's going to make it first down and goal. 1st and goal from just inside the 10-yard line. Bryce Brown is the running back. On a roll to the right, and just throwing it away. Everybody covered. Yeah, Tim Jennings covering Deshaun Jackson that time. It'll be 2nd down and goal. 2nd and goal. Run it again with Brown, and then he'll get stopped at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and goal. Got Chris Polk in the backfield flanking Foles. Foles, good protection again, throws. The open man is Selleck. Touchdown. Full by Hester, which gave Philadelphia 2 short fields. And now Chicago tries to get something going. They're still looking for their first down. And Cutler's first completion is to Brandon Marshall up at the 35-yard line, a gain of 13.
The one thing you watch with the Chicago Bears on offense, eventually somebody is going to end up right there. And Jay Cutler, that's his default mechanism. There is always a receiver floating in the middle of the field, and when he looks around and doesn't like it, he comes back there, and a lot of times it's that guy, Brandon Marshall.
Closing minute of the opening quarter. Eagles showing blitz from 3 different gaps. To the outside, it's a one-handed grab by Alshon Jeffrey, who's emerging as a star. Boy, he's provided tremendous balance in terms of the wide receiver situation in Chicago.
Alshon Jeffrey has made some of the most incredible catches I've seen in a long time, and it seems like he's doing it every week now. So many times it happens in the end zone where he's just going up over the top of everybody and just as the old basketball player that he is, out rebounding them. And now with him on the other side of Brandon Marshall, it is tough to defend.
2nd down and 2, and they give the ball to Forte. And Forte stopped just about at the line of scrimmage, and that's going to take us to the end of the first quarter, which is on top by 3 touchdowns. It's 3rd and 2 for Chicago from the 43-yard line. Cutler's 2 of his first 3 for 22 yards. Good clean pocket, but the pass is incomplete, intended for Marshall. 3 and 5 at the midway point in the season, 1 and 3 after the first month of the season. But then a 5-game winning streak before losing last week at Minnesota. The pass is hauled in at the 11-yard line by Jason Avant, and we check in with Michelle.
Well,
up tempo, and they do things like put Jackson in motion, as they do right there, but Foles now has to eat it at the 8-yard line.
At the beginning of the year, 19 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's thrown a couple in the stands, been willing to take a sack there. He's not going to put this offense at risk, and big reason why he's still in there.
3rd and 10. That Bear defense needs a stop. See if they get one here. Here comes the blitz. Foles able to step up, finds the soft spot in the pocket, hits Riley Cooper for a 1st down. So the heat came on.
Julius Peppers and Jason Peters is right. He's as good as anybody.
That was a gain of 16. Now you got McCoy swinging to the outside and picking up 6 yards. Kelly calling the plays in. There's a lot of stuff going on with a lot of assistant coaches and gyrations and cards and hand signals.
But basically, Chip Kelly's calling it in to Nick Foles, and every other coach over there is signaling in to their position and also the snap count, so they don't even have to communicate.
2nd and 4. Foles will swing it out. There's Deshaun Jackson, who becomes a safety valve. Now he's normally the #1 target. That time a safety valve to the left side, and back we go to how these plays get called in.
So there you go. You've got Chip Kelly. He's calling in to Nick Foles. There's the one-on-one. The other guys in the huddle are looking at their particular position coach, who is going to give them the play and the snap count. Here they go. Maybe not even a word said at the line of scrimmage, and they're running a great offense.
Foles protected well, but the secondary does its job, and then he can take it down. Boy, you know, Chris, I'm just thinking, what synchronization.
It's easy. You get out there, and that's really been the difference for them. When they get clicking, it looks like this.
2nd and 11. Again, that double stack left and right. Take the inside handoff. Swing it to the outside. A juggling catch is made by Chris Polk. And he's about 3 yards shy of the 1st down. Polk's 2nd year back out of Washington.
You know, it's so interesting for me. This is a space offense. In other words, they had Jason Avant on the far left, and then they had Chris Polk on the far right, just basically standing there looking at the quarterback, and he could have gone one sideline to the other. So they're making you cover as much square footage on the field as you could possibly cover, so they're getting these athletes in space. That's how they're winning.
Well, Chicago has run a total of 10 plays for 26 yards. This drive begins from the 14-yard line. And Cutler under pressure, and the pass is incomplete. That was Michael Kendricks nipping in his heels, and here's Cutler slow and getting up. He had the trying to diffuse the controversy, and at least it was in the second half last week with Cleveland. Cutler played well. Slings it deep downfield, and that pass is incomplete. Intended for Marshall, covered there by Carey Williams. 3rd and 10. And Cutler to the outside, and that will move the chains. Alshon Jeffrey holding it in as they convert on 3rd and long.
No, just a lot of space, just a zone coverage, and as Carey Williams backs up, they're supposed to bring the other corner, Brandon Boykin, out underneath him, but Jay Cutler with that super strong arm. You know, people say, all right, why should Cutler be playing over McCown? Is because Jay Cutler has one of the strongest arms in the NFL, period.
In the pocket, deep downfield. There's contact there. Jeffrey, the intended receiver, and there is no flag as Bradley Fletcher goes back there with him. Now sets up in the slot to the left, 2nd down and 10. Swing it out to Forte. And he'll get pushed out of bounds by Connor Barwin. The Bear offensive line, that was a big question coming into the season. They revamped it. One of the big pickups was Jermon Bushrod, who came over from New Orleans.
Now they're at 24, so that certainly made a huge difference in this offense. 2 rookies on the right side, 2 free agents on the left. Roberto Garza, the only returner.
2 rookies, Kyle Long, the guard, Jordan Mills, the tackle on the right side. And the pass is caught up at the 40-yard line by Martellus Bennett, another free agent pickup who had been with Dallas and had been with the Giants as well, 6th year at a Texas A&M first down.
And here's the matchup I've been waiting for. Michael Kendricks one-on-one against Martellus Bennett. And this is a defense that is going to play man coverage. They are going to take chances. And there's Jermon Bushrod up front. He has been a huge addition for this team. And I wonder if the New Orleans Saints wonder whether or not they should ever let him get out of town.
I'm sure they're wondering the same thing right now. 6 plays on this drive, all passes. And the 7th will be as well, as it's caught by Earl Bennett, teammate Cutler's back in their Vanderbilt days a number of years ago. Fletcher making the tackle, no gain, 2nd down and 10.
Chip basically told him, listen, I expect you to play defense like I play offense. I don't want to be sitting there watching 10, 12 play drives. You go get them. Something bad happens, we'll score, we'll make up for it, but you attack.
2nd and 10. Butler, that's caught. That's Bennett again, and that's a first down as Chicago gets the ball finally into Philadelphia territory. D'Amico Ryans makes the tackle.
And one of the problems for the Eagles, when they just bring 4 here, this Bears offensive line is picking them up. And this is an offensive line steadily improving. The Eagles thought they might be able to go to work on the 2 rookies, Kyle Long and Jordan Mills. But, you know, you've heard about Kyle Long. Jordan Mills was a 5th-round draft pick, and he has started from day 1, number 67 there, and just done an amazing job. I don't think enough has been said about Jordan Mills so far and what he's meant to this offense.
And Cutler will gun it, and then it'll be caught by Bennett, and Martellus Bennett is able to stay in bounds before he is forced out at the 20-yard line. So on this drive, which has consumed a little bit more than 3 minutes, 9 plays, all passes. And Cutler, pressured, gets sacked at the 30-yard line. So Jay, and he's down as first man to come in. His second of the night. It's a 9-yard loss, and it's a low snap, which Cutler has to dig out of the ground, and he's going to go down again. Michael Kendricks is there. Roberto Garza, the center, with a low snap. So it started out as a mini disaster and turned out to be a complete one.
Well, right here, Michael Kendricks, and Matt Forte was not a good blocker when this coaching staff got here. They tried to teach him, go in and explode into the linebackers, hit him first, hit him hard, and then pass block. That time, Matt Forte a little passive. That's something that he has to improve on. He has. He's much better now. But in this game, they're going after him.
Third down and 28. Almost out of field goal range right now. And Cutler trying to get him back in that, trying to get 6 points, and it's incomplete. Good double coverage on Brandon Marshall. Chip Kelly, only the third coach that he's had to hire. Handoff to McCoy.
Well, let's go back. We talked a little bit about center Jason Kelsey, and we also talk about all the skill players in space. But in this offense, the offensive linemen have to be able to play in space as well. Screens, sweeps, they get out in front, and you get a guy like Jason Kelsey as a pulling center, it just adds a dimension to your offense.
Second down and 6 from the 18. There goes McCoy. Taking another step toward the rushing title. Kelsey with the block. So right now, McCoy would be the odds-on choice to win the rushing title. Is a McCoy 9 carries tonight for 65 yards. They give it to Brown, and there goes the backup back to the 45-yard line. A lot of talk in Philadelphia last week about why didn't McCoy carry the ball more than he did. He only carried 8 times in Minnesota. He's already.
But they haven't even begun to slow down this offense to this point. It almost looks like they're like, wait a minute, somebody called timeout. What's going on?
Chris Conde, the safety who was shaken up earlier, is back in the game. Screen to McCoy. And that's a first down, taking it to the 44-yard line. Ball at the 44-yard line. First down. Fakes the throw. Then he hits Jason Avant to the 27-yard line. Tackled there by Bostic.
This is called gotcha. Watch this pump fake. Ben Roethlisberger would have been proud of this one. Going to end up screaming out here for Deshaun Jackson, and that ends up with Jason Avant wide open in the flat. That pump fake got everybody. Got Tim Jennings on the blitz, too.
Number 27, wheeling around, setting up a screen again, but that time it is sniffed out beautifully by the rookie Jonathan Bostic. Second down and 18, and they'll swing the pass to Deshaun Jackson. And he's met there by Tim Jennings after a short gain. Third and 14. Four-man rush. Foles in traffic, able to get it out, and incomplete. So with 1 minute and 10 seconds to play in the half, it'll be 4th and 14. 18-yard line. They have only 1 timeout. And Cutler protected well, trying to find a guy open downfield, and does. Jeffrey got free along the sideline. Covered there by Nate Allen, and they'll stop the clock with 48 seconds remaining. Timeout Chicago, their last. Now from the 40-yard line, Chicago, no timeouts left. Down 24-0, and Cutler out of the shotgun. Deep drop. Guns it a little bit too high for Brandon Marshall. Chris, I'm going to tell you one reason right now you can't touch that down. Remember, 2nd and 10 from the 40-yard line. And Cutler Fires over the middle, and that's taken in by Jeffrey, who thinks he wasn't touched, but they'll spot him down at the 43-yard line, and the clock keeps rolling. 2nd and 10. Philadelphia will receive the second half kickoff. Blitz coming. It's picked up, and the pass is incomplete at the 35-yard line, intended for Martellus Bennett. That play took 5 seconds. 3rd and 10. Stepping up is Cutler. And he's past the line of scrimmage. He has to pack it in, and now he's got to get up there and spike the ball.
Is it first down, though?
Well, it is a first down, and he'll have time to spike it and then have one more play, which might be a field goal attempt. Is Robbie Gould. Podlish to put it down. Can Chicago get on the board? And Robbie Gould's kick is good, so they get a great spot, and that extends the opportunity for Chicago to score, and they do. 24 into Eugene with tremendous success there, and was known for innovative and incredible offensive bursts. His ball carrier is LaShawn McCoy.
Watching on television, they did okay against this offense the first time, but they're better now than they were then.
Dallas came in here in midseason as McCoy gets taken down, and Dallas won the game here 17-3 on October 20th.
And give this offense a chance to get them back in the game. This is a big play in the game right here.
3rd down and 7. Can that Bear defense start with a 3 and out? They almost jump offside. And now it's Foles, and he throws, and that's caught backhanded by Deshaun Jackson. And he has the first down before he goes out of bounds.
With the electrifying, and I don't say that lightly, Deshaun Jackson.
There's the electrifying LaShawn McCoy, who gets taken out of bounds into the Bear bench after a gain of 5. Run out.
They haven't even really taken the big shot down the field yet.
2nd and 5, and that pass to the outside is caught again there by Jackson. Nothing. 53.33 yards. Kelly calls in the play from the 42-yard line, first down. Cooper comes wide to the left. Foles looking in that direction. The 3 receivers over there, and that's caught by Jackson up at the 49-yard line, tackled there by Zach Bowman.
Drives are completely wearing out the pass rush.
This is the 7th play, opening drive of the half. And the ball off to McCoy. And McCoy, who was stopped initially, then the ball is out. Stephen Pyatt comes up with the ball. Live ball. After Briggs could not make the stop short of the first down, McCoy got the first down and then loses the ball of the Bears. 3 minutes into the 3rd quarter. This is the opening drive of the period. This is the 8th play of this drive. Foles checks it down underneath. It's McCoy fighting for a couple of extra yards. Initial contact by Bowman.
Well, we're going to try and show you a little bit here of just what we're talking about with spreading the field. You're going to get receivers going this way, this way. You've got them here, you've got them here, you've got them here. That is one large area of square footage to try and cover for a defense, and that is what has been part of the magic of Chip Kelly's offense.
Almost your whole 53 1/3. Here comes the flag. It would have been 3rd and 12. Instead, right now, they go back to 2nd down from the 44-yard line, and a little pass out into the flat is incomplete, intended for Brent Selleck.
And force you to do something else.
And it is Foles. He has to pack it in because he was well across the line of scrimmage, and he is stopped at the 50-yard line. So Philadelphia was able to retain possession. Bears backed up to start this drive. That's Jeffrey coming in on a wing. And Forte can barely get out of the end zone.
I don't think he
Cedric
did.
Thornton, they think they have a safety. The officials converge.
You've got to get the ball all the way out.
Did he get it out?
I'm not sure.
Well, they're going to spot it just outside for the moment.
No, sir. That's a safety.
And the Eagles right now are in that spot from the 33-yard line. Look at that hole. McCoy to midfield. Gigantic gap.
Well, let's give Evan Mathis and some of these offensive linemen a little bit of credit here. Watch him get up here to this linebacker, and they are just making this look easy. I mean, they're getting the double team. They're easily getting up to Jonathan Bostic, and it doesn't matter what they're doing at this point.
17-yard gain. Foles rips one over the middle, wide open again. Riley Cooper to the 17-yard line. And when Jeremy Maclin got hurt at the beginning of training camp, it was Cooper who had to go from what would have been the number 3 receiver to number 2. He's had a great year, 32 yards.
They go so fast we can't even show you a replay. This, no, how hard must it be to play defense against them?
Play action all the time. Look at Foles dancing around. Find somebody underneath. That's Jason Avant to the 15.
I don't think he's going to win it, but this guy's going to be one of the candidates.
They get a bronze medal. 2nd and 6. Another giant hole. And this time it's Bryce Brown. They're just shredding the Bear defense. Last in the league against the rush. They would figure the way it looks right now.
Well, they bring James Casey across this little kick-out block again. It's just a simple trap, and they're wearing them out with it.
1st and goal, and Brown will take the ball inside the 2-yard line as we get to the halfway mark of the 3rd quarter. On 2nd down and goal. And springing to the outside is McCoy. Nothing through the middle. Off he goes to the left side. Touchdown.
At least he has experience that a lot of these other defensive coordinators don't have.
They'll have their hands full next Sunday night. The ball is at the 22-yard line. And Cutler over the middle, and that's dropped. Nothing going right for Chicago. You know,
He's going to have to win there last night to get in.
Beat the Packers next Sunday afternoon at Soldier Field. Little short pass underneath to Matt Forte, going nowhere.
Cole even dropping back in coverage. He is an outside linebacker now, but he doesn't cover a lot.
3rd and 7. And Cutler is going to get sacked and lose the ball, and at least it's retained. Michael Kendricks forced it, and then Mills is there to at least keep possession for Chicago, but they will punt. Time tonight on this first full day of winter. There's Foles. They still have their foot on the gas to the Eagles, but then the ball comes loose, and as it's snatched out of the air, it might be. Brent Selleck lost the ball, and it's a live ball, and it's Chicago's ball. Hauled in by Jonathan Bostic.
Nice job by Tim Jennings getting that thing out, I believe. He comes up in the back, and really that's a fumble all the way. I thought it might be ruled an interception, but that ball was stripped out well after Selleck had possession of it. So now the Bears at least catch a little break and maybe can get something going on the offensive side.
Only the 2nd fumble of Selleck's 7-year career. Begins now from the 30-yard line. Cutler is 11 of 22 for 130 yards, and pass is incomplete as Cutler goes down, and that time Brandon Graham came for 14 seasons. How's Andy doing, by the way?
Not too bad. Till today.
Till today. Brandon Marshall will get taken out of bounds. They targeted, the Eagles did.
Sending on the right path.
3rd down and 5. And that pass is dropped by Forte. It'll be 4th down, so they can't cash in off the turnover. One other thing, too, that had to take a timeout. It's 4th and 5. And can Cutler keep the drive alive? He can. It's caught up at the 42-yard line by Jeffrey for a gain of 7. Moves the chains, 1st down.
Well, Alshon Jeffrey on the outside, one of the few passes they've completed against Kerry Williams in this game. This has been an excellent coverage game. After watching them last week against the Minnesota Vikings, I was questioning whether they could match up against these guys. This has been a quantum leap in coverage from one week to the next.
1st and 10. Cutler good protection this time. Here's Marshall, spins his way to the 47-yard line, and Brandon has a first down.
I tell you, the job that D'Amico Ryans does inside calling the plays, they call in 2 different defenses to him and basically leave it to his discretion as to which one they use. So, you know, all the signals, the cards, all that stuff over there. But it is D'Amico Ryans playing Peyton Manning on the defensive side and making the calls.
From the 47-yard line. Cutler, flag is thrown at the 39-yard line. Pass incomplete
to D'Amico Ryans.
They have posters with Ben Franklin on it. I mean, it's fabulous.
That double-A blitz again coming right up the middle. Let's see if they actually come this time. They don't.
But they get to him anyway. Trent Cole, and that's a hat trick for him. 3 tonight. Second and 22 from the 46-yard line. And to the outside, that's Bennett, and Bennett gets taken out at the 50. 3rd and still very long. 3rd and 18.
Yeah,
Cole not playing with his hand on the ground. Well, he is on this particular play, but hasn't hurt him at all. 3 sacks tonight. Here he comes again. The pass has gotten away to Forte. And Forte with a pretty good game, but well short of the first down, forced out by Kerry Williams.
How much?
4th and 9. And here's Forte, and Forte will have enough for a first down before he's tackled there by Kendricks.
All right, Michael Kendricks here is going to sprint out underneath, and then he's going to kind of lose Matt Forte. As he runs underneath the double team, the wide receiver, Forte slips out, and just enough to pick up that first down.
Final minute of the 3rd quarter. Cutler deep and juggled and caught by Martellus Bennett as he's able to get possession before he goes out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
Boy, that should have been a walk-in touchdown. They've got the little wheel route going up the boundary, and Michael Kendricks gets lost in the shuffle and just a little wide, and you could see Martellus Bennett struggled, so he didn't end up scoring the touchdown on the play, but I do think he got his feet down ultimately. That should have been an easy one.
Right. 1st and goal from the 6. And it's Marshall who's able to haul it in for the touchdown on what will be the final play of the quarter. So Marshall going to the outside. That culminates a 70-yard, 11-play drive.
Well, there's confusion everywhere, and the wideouts over here are moving around. That could have very easily been called back. They tried to rush before the end of the quarter there. Job by Brandon Marshall pushing off, and I'm sure Kerry Williams will let the official know about that, but it did work.
Go for 2. Yeah, leave the offense in. Probably make it a 22-point game for what it's worth. 4 for 5 with the Bears this season on 2-point conversions. And that pass is caught wide open right there. Earl Bennett coming inside, slanting into the end zone. Eagles now. And there's McCoy. That's a gain of 9 yards for McCoy.
I'm a believer. After seeing him in person, I'm a believer.
2nd and 1. McCoy's already had a triple figure night. And he takes the ball across the 50 to the 46-yard line. You're looking at something he doesn't care about, as it turns out. Well in front of that area, too. And McCoy, the record was 217 2 weeks ago. Now they're going to spread the wealth a little bit. Bryce Brown has his 7th carry of the night. Briggs, of course, missing half the year. Tina Tillman is on injured reserve. A lot of issues. 2nd and 6. Here's Brown. Breaking a tackle. Taking it down to the 25-yard line.
He is the guy that was the play caller. They took him out. James Anderson had to take over. Jonathan Bostic, Kassim Green were forced in as rookies to play, and it has been a reach this year for this defense stopping the run.
And now just milking the clock as McCoy takes the ball to the 10-yard line. You know,
doing this with a non-running quarterback. You're talking about misconceptions. That's what he said number 1 was. He said, you show me who my players are and I'll build the offense. I don't build an offense and then just plug in players to it.
From the 10. Holt. And he gets into the action with a touchdown. Chris Holt, the number 3 running back. Wrigley, now they take it to Michigan.
They should play them all outside, especially in L.A.
From the 18, he has 2 sacks, and Trent Cole has the other 3. So Cutler's gone down 5 times tonight. Here's Forte taking it to the 31-yard line, tackled by Fletcher, and a first down for Chicago.
You and I have been around each other too much. If I'm saying bango now, I'm stealing your words now. I apologize. I really am.
Do I say that?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Well, you add an O at the other, at the end of every word.
1,000%. That's my other.
You like that too?
I do.
I copyrighted it.
The ball, I owe you money.
Bulls at the 30. Here's Cutler. And reaching up is Marshall, but it's off his hands. Incomplete. Crowd chanting, "We want Dallas," and you're going to get him.
This college offense might become more of the norm than people might have thought.
2nd and 10. Here goes Forte to the 37. We talked about Forte earlier with his paucity of yardage gained tonight. Then blew the block that led to the safety. But 71% of the carries for this team. He had 100 rushing yards in 3 straight games. He's adding some in garbage time here tonight, but still only 27 yards. Career high in scrimmage yards. So the Bears just have to try to get it back together for next Sunday afternoon when they play the Packers for the NFC North title, as Alshon Jeffrey takes it up to the 47-yard line.
You know, sometimes games just get away from you early, and the turnovers, the bad punt, and you're looking up at the scoreboard and you're down 21-0, and it just happens in this league. Just like we saw a week ago, the Philadelphia Eagles give up whatever that was, 47 points against the Minnesota Vikings, and bounce right back and play like they have tonight. It's just life in the NFL sometimes.
Cutler's just etched his name into the record book. We talked earlier as Forte gains 3. It's a record that has stood since 1942. Sid Luckman, career passing yardage, and Jay Cutler, who came over from Denver in 09, has just broken that. So we're talking to Cutler last night about this, and he said, hey, that's pretty good. He said, it's also sad. 71 years that record's been in existence.
I haven't been here that long, you know. I hold the record for the all-time quarterback play.
But you think about the Bears, you think about great defense through the years. You don't think about great quarterback. You don't think about good ones through the years. Jim McMahon led them to the Super Bowl. Walter Payton, one of the great offensive players, obviously of all time. And then here's a pick by Boykin. So he breaks Luckman's record and follows it up with a pick 6.
He did this time. Gonna come shooting right underneath this thing and pick it off. That is one of the most basic zone defenses in NFL history. Day one install, and Boykin just surprised Jay Cutler with that one.
The ball is at the 20-yard line. And that's Chicago's night in a nutshell. You know, we don't
much more than quarterback play that was the difference here.
Oh, all over the place. Here's a draw. This is Bush. 3rd and 10.
My guess is Jay Cutler is going to get signed, and they're going to try hard to get Josh McCown back. But because of the nature of his contract, they have to let him go to free agency.
3rd and 10, and that's tipped in the air, and it's incomplete. So it's 4th down. Yeah, it's not like McCown, you know, around the country, people were saying, hey, who is this guy? Well, the Eagles go to Dallas with a chance to make it 13, and Michael Vick comes into the game to finish up a quarterback. Of course, it was Vick who got hurt. He gives the ball to look at this. Look at Bryce Brown. Bryce Brown all the way to the end zone.
That Mike Vick is brilliant.
He's tremendous. I've never seen a guy hand off with such poise.
Let's watch Evan Mathis right here coming down on Stephen Paella. And as it's happened all night long, I just don't think I can remember seeing running backs running so free in an NFL game. I mean,
knowing that next week they have to beat Dallas anyway, there's a pretty significant difference between being seeded 3rd or 4th. As Hester will run it back. And it's taken down at the 33-yard line. Beating. 33-yard line, and the ball off to Michael Bush.
You know, it hasn't all gone right for the Dallas Cowboys this year, but they are undefeated in the division, so nobody has been able to take care of business, and that's what the NFL is. First and foremost, you have to get in, and the fastest way to do that is to beat the teams in your division, and that's what the Cowboys have been able to do. You spend the majority of your time in the offseason preparing for those teams, and they've been ready.
2nd and 5. Might as well rest Marshall the rest of the way. Some second unit people in there at the moment. Put in the quarterback. McCown on 2nd and 5. That's a gain of about 3. You know, Chris, we were talking about the difference between 2 and 3, or 3 and 4 in the seeding, because right now you'd have Seattle on top. Carolina at the moment would be number 2. They'd get a bye. If you're the number 3 seed, you get a home game in the wild card round. 4 does as well. So what's the difference? Let's say Philly winds up 3 and Chicago winds up 4 if they beat Green Bay next week. Somebody's going to have to go to Seattle earlier than later, and that would be the number 4 seed, not the number 3 seed.
Well, exactly, and right now New Orleans, I believe, would be the 6, and that's who they would end up playing as the 3. And we've seen this year the Saints have not traveled very well.
3rd and 2, you got Eric Weems making the catch. But if you wind up 3, you get a home game. Then you go on the road against the lowest survivor. If you're 4, you get a home game, and then you're probably going to wind up in Seattle.
Yep, I would think.
Early. You know, somebody's going to wind up in Seattle anyway, maybe, if the Seahawks get to the championship game, but you'd rather get them last.
Well, Arizona proved today that's not impossible to go up there. How about the job Bruce Arians has done the last couple of years with these teams? I mean, that's something else.
Yep. Cards win today, but the question is, can they get into the playoffs at 10 and 5? Ball to the 49-yard line. And they can get to the playoffs by winning the division with a win next week.
I'm sure Bob Costas is going to break it all down for us here.
My head had just exploded. It exploded at the beginning of the show tonight. Earl Bennett.
And Arizona plays safe with 1 to go. And that was some year Tom Brady had. I'll remember it well. And Peyton Manning went out and got that one today.
Congratulations to
Tappan in his lifetime. 5 MVPs in the NFL.
To the 30 goes Bush. Oh, man, I don't know. I mean, it's, you know, if it gets cleared, I guess. What do you think? 3rd and 3. Bush.
I mean, my gut, without any information at all, is that he'll play. I don't know why I think that. He's been so close. He's been practicing. He's looked great in practice. But he's also the franchise, and that's the hard part. You do not want to go into next year with Aaron Rodgers coming off of surgery on his collarbone. So, I can't say this is an easy call. It's not.
Key clause there was without any information at all.
Correct. I do that a lot.
Right. We both do.
Make a living doing that.
Of course. 4th and 3. And McCown will throw, and not even close. Yeah, it's 4 years in a row we've had a final game of the season that's going to determine win or go home. We had St. Louis, Seattle back in 2010. We've had the Cowboys against the Giants, against the Redskins the last 2 years, losing in both, and they get to go home and take on the Eagles with same scenario. For Mark Trestman, just a night to forget. It's like in horse racing. You throw in a clunker. You just get rid of it. And it's tonight, 54-11, the Wendy's post-game report next.